My main thing with social media though, like it's nice to stay connected, but I agree. I definitely miss like the physical interaction, just being with my friends.
Mhm.
And like I've done a lot of times just reminiscing, thinking about high school, early college, just being with my people. And it's just made me think of volleyball too, especially just
Oh
being with the
my
team.
God. Yeah.
I've had so much time just to think about the boys, think about coach, just all the fun we've had. And I
Yeah.
was really interested to pick your brain about like our season together, our senior year thoughts. I gotta know. Right off the bat, I gotta know. Before the season even started, before we played Rockport in the first game, what were your expectations? Like, were you expecting us to go 2-18? Like, what were you thinking?
Well, first of all, let's dial it back a second and say
Sure.
that the season for me didn't start with Brockport. It started, with training camp before that, and it
Mhm.
started 2 days before training telling me that he wasn't going to play. And when you kind of, as a coach, go into a season, you've got this vision in your head about wanting to build an offense, and clearly, this is going to be one of the vital pieces in the offense.
Mhm.
Just kind of saying, you know what, I'm not going to do it this year. That was, a punch to the gut, to be certain. It was very clear on day number 1, 2, 3, pick whatever you want right now, that you guys didn't have enough offensive firepower to hang in the division that we play in.
Yeah.
If we could go out to Genesee County or Livingston County, you guys would have been able to hang no problem. But the league that we play in is so good and so demanding that you've got to have 3 or 4 offensive weapons, or you're not even trying throughout the course.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that. We didn't have that in 2016. You guys, and I admit you played on a team in 2015 that had weapons all over the place. You saw the teams before that had weapons. And again, this is not to denigrate any of you guys in any possible way, but
Oh, definitely not. Yeah.
if you don't have a guy that's automatic side out, then you really struggle in the league we play in. And I knew it was going to be tough. I didn't know it was going to be rough. Certainly, the Brockport match was rough.
Yeah.
And it was rough. And I remember looking at the schedule and thinking, the firewall is this match right here. And it might have been at Churchville. It might have been at whatever the firewall was. And when we went and got swept, it was okay. The firewall didn't hold up. So what's next? What I will tell you, and I talked to Fahad, you and I talked about this on the phone the other day, and I want perfectly clear to both you guys and to anybody that wants to watch this. I don't know if I've ever had more fun with a team than you guys. I played every day against you guys. It's like the numbers worked out correct, that there was always a need for an outside hitter or a setter or for whoever, and Kinsman's around, and that interaction is something that I've really never had with the team before. Fahad, you and I were probably the two that were closest together because I was
definitely
against you. And as much as I want to tell Maduka, all right, dude, Oaks is going to tip right behind me right now. Just stand on the sideline on the 10-foot line and pick the thing. And he's always late on it. My God, like, dude, this isn't rocket science right here. He's got 2 swings. He's going to swing crossbar and tip right over me right now.
And I can relate so much. When he used to be on my side, I used to tell him every time, like, Lenny's going to do some fake set over, just be ready. And he was never ready.
Not once. And those things, when I think back, it reminds me so much that coaching high school sports is about the relationship that you develop with players, the relationship that players develop with each other. And okay, we went 2-19. And would anybody throw away the 2? I mean, my goodness, down 2-0. With the funny stuff going on in the stands right there. And all of a sudden, and I'm like, okay, you guys are going to play right now. I wouldn't throw those 2 away. And I'll tell you, it was ugly a couple times when we went. We played Penfield 3 times.
Oh, God. I don't want anyone to talk about Penfield.
It was ugly every time. Yeah. But I have so much respect, and I want this to be very, very clear also. As a teacher, I'm around high school athletes that play other sports all the time. And you know what it's like at the end of October when the football team's not going well or the soccer team's not going well. And you talk with these guys and these girls. And that attitude of, man, I can't wait for this to be over. And I never felt like that with you guys. Like, it was.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah.
We get to show up again tomorrow. That's awesome. Let's
Yes.
continue to go do that. And as silly as it is, and this is, I'm not trying to beat my chest at all in any ways. I've had great teams and I've had not so great teams, and I've been given awards and whatever. I feel like the best coaching jobs I've ever done in my life are with the least talented teams that I've had. Yeah, find a reason to continue to show up every single day and try to get better individually and as a team. Being great is easy. Knowing that you're going to go out there and blow somebody out. I've had 2 teams like that in 40 seasons that I've coached. That's easy stuff. But getting guys to not have that attitude of, man, I got to go to practice for 2 hours again today. This sucks. Like, you guys showed up every day and wanted to get better. And that's really a testament to the senior leadership that was on that team. You guys, obviously, part of that. Jason Rogers was a part of that. Oh,
yeah, definitely.
But that really is something that I'll always believe about that team. And not for nothing, that team we beat twice, they canceled their program the next year.
I wanted to talk about this. We're taking credit for that. We put them out.
Throw those guys out of the league. Good for you.
We did it, man. So I think what really transpired was it kind of turned into a brotherhood, and like it was so much fun to show up every single day and just try to get better, try to get better and just be there for each other. And I think we did that really well that season. And it was just a lot of fun.
I remember talking about you guys, especially with Kinsman throughout the course of that year. And again, Kinsman played at a very, very high level in college and saw some great volleyball in her life. And I just remember thinking, I like these guys so much that I dread sometimes having to take them into tomorrow's match. We can show up and have a great practice and practice as well as we can for 2 hours, and we're going to Victor tomorrow. And it's not going to be a whole lot of fun for anybody that's wearing a Victor jersey.
Oh, no.
But again, a credit to you guys, and you use the word brotherhood. And I'm so glad to hear that word. Is that idea of being a family together is what I've always tried to inspire and encourage in the kids that I coach.
Definitely no. And I think like just the toughest part, not to be too negative, was I hated like being complacent and like getting used to losing. Because me and Fahad, we're naturally competitive guys. If we're playing pickup basketball, we want to win. Don't matter. Playing 2K, don't matter. So let alone a competitive sport, a sport that we love, we want to win. So it was frustrating going in 3 weeks in. I'm like, okay, let's just go through the motions and then we'll just see what happens in the end. But that being said, like going to practice every single day was like my highlight, especially for senior year. I loved it. Just seeing my guys, seeing coach, it was insane, so much fun. But the one thing, going back to what you said, you were like nervous to going into a game for us just to see us get beat up. Fahad, I need to hear your reaction again about when you heard we're playing Penfield for the first time.
Okay.
We all knew they were the big dogs in New York State, and you had no idea because you were new to volleyball. What's going through your head?
This story I will never forget. So I think we played Penfield's second or third game of the season. I don't remember. Yeah. But everybody was like, oh, it's Penfield. It's going to be rough. I'm like, yeah, with that attitude, it is going to be rough. We're going to be fine. We're going to be okay. It was my first year playing volleyball. I had no idea what Penfield was all about. And we get there. First of all, the first sign was they had cut-off jerseys. I'm like, okay, this is not going to be good.
They're good.
And then we get there. I'm like, okay, we're okay. And then we start the match. And I think 2 or 3 minutes pass. I look up at the scoreboard. It was like 22-4 or something. I'm like, I should have listened to everybody maybe. They were probably right. This didn't go so well.
Well, I got to tell you, there's very, very few competitive experiences I've had like that one. And if you're remembering, it was the second match of the year, and we got beat 25-6 in the first set. And I got to tell you, I don't know if I had ever been single-digited by somebody before that in the arc of my coaching career at every level. And then they did the responsible thing, which is pull all the starters and the second team was hungrier because they don't get a chance to play that much, and they did 25-3 in the second set. And I'm looking around going, are we really down 50-9 right now in this? This is crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Almost every other sport has some way of calling that off, whether it's a mercy rule in softball, whether it's like a TKO in boxing. It's called this off, man. You got beat 75-15 in 3 sets against them, and I've got to be the guy that puts a good face on this afterwards. And say, well,
Yeah.
And the good face is you scored 15 points in 3 sets the first time. You scored 38 points in 3 sets the second time. Progress.
There you go.
35-13 every game. But yeah, we weren't kidding you, man, when we said this is Penn the real deal.
Should have listened, But even going back to that, like knowing that we got beat that bad, and then everybody shows up next day in practice ready to go. Like it was a brotherhood since the start, and everyone was ready to go the next day. And I could say like people did make side comments about like I remember me and Amit used to talk. People talking about volleyball team is bad. We used to just take it around the chin, like okay, we're having fun. We don't really care, and we're trying to get better. Like this is what it is. It's all right for losing, but for putting out 110% every single day, and I think we were okay with that.
Yep, and I'm glad to hear that because I know it is a difficult thing because you guys obviously are friends with people in school that know what's going on. They're on other teams. Boys soccer had a great year that year.
Yeah.
There's how wild was that walking out of practice and watching them come against Victor in the rain in that day. That was awesome to watch.
That was, yeah.
And it doesn't always go that way for every team. Doesn't mean though that you're not working hard and you're not trying to get better. So. I'm glad that you guys appreciated that and were able to to carry yourself with that dignity.
And going back, I wanted to talk about this for the longest time, and I've never asked you ever. What happened in your mind when that Hilton incident took place? I don't think we've talked about this in a long dialogue. When that took place, what went through your mind?
Well.
Because I can tell you, me and Amit were ready to throw haymakers. We were ready to go. We were mad.
Well, first of all, you got to understand that I'm approaching this from the perspective of, Jesus, guys, you're down 2 sets to none against this team. All right, that's the first thing I'm thinking right there.
Yeah.
Before we get into any of the stuff, the funny stuff that was happening in the stands, you flat out played bad for 2 sets. So here's a really, really bad opponent thinking, we got somebody right now. They've got fans that showed up and figured this might be the first time we see anybody doing anything good. And, they got after Glendy pretty good. And, you guys, what I will say is that you guys rallied around the situation. You weren't playing well enough. You knew that you were playing an opponent that was not that good, and the environment sucked. There were hateful stuff coming out of the stands, directed at you guys, and you rallied as a group of guys around each other, and that really is, I think, again, a tremendous credit to who you guys were. I know what was going on the court on our side. I know what was going on in the stand. I don't condone everything on our side of the court, but whatever it takes to get guys fired up and to play better. If you need to throw the bird at somebody in the stands, that's fine.
Oh, definitely. I think I had to hold Glendy back after that because he was ready to go.
He was heated. He was fired up. Yep.
And again, that's the thing, is that I've a couple of times in my coaching career been in a spot in which I felt like a situation could escalate beyond, we're just going to play back and forth and see who scores more points right here. And that certainly was one of those moments. And you guys did the responsible thing, which is go out there and just play and win. And you rolled them in sets 3, 4, and 5. There was, I felt like, a combination of a righteous anger because you walked into an environment that was pretty crappy. There was an anger about how you guys have been playing up to that point. And for 3 sets that night, you guys were phenomenal. You played the absolute highest level that you guys were capable of playing at. And you did so again, because you rallied around each other. You supported a teammate.
Yeah.
You kind of got excited about the fact that this environment is hostile right now, and it's just us right now. And we can't look to anybody else. The officials aren't going to do anything. The crowd's not going to back off. The supervisors aren't going to step in. It's just us on the court right now. And we have to make the decision that we're going to be tougher than this.
I think when we went down to Zip, like right after we were walking down back to our bench, me and Amit just kind of looked at each other like, there's no way we're about to be swept by Hilton. That we can't. We even joked about it before the game, like through our text messages. Oh, like what if we get swept by Hilton? And we were on the verge of being swept by Hilton.